Hello everyone. Today's video is going to be the last video of Unit 1. If you remember in the previous video we discussed about writing, technical writing, and we also discussed about precise writing. For today's video would be about reading the last item or the last topic in Unit 1, which we have been doing for the past few weeks. So let me start with paragraph writing. Now, what is paragraph writing? We've been writing from our childhood, isn't it? From the time we started, going to school, we've been writing, right? And sometimes I have noticed that you students have a doubt about what is the length of a paragraph. How many lines can you actually write in a paragraph? So, to be precise, to tell you accurately how many lines you can call as a paragraph would be around 8 to 10 lines. Okay, in case you're writing an essay, you should change the paragraph after around 8 or 10 lines. You should go to the next paragraph. Alright, so the essays are written that way. Now let's concentrate only on paragraph writing. Essay writing I'll be doing in the future lessons that I'll be teaching you. So paragraph writing, as I told you, is a group of sentences. Alright, it's a group of sentences and you should have around 10 to 8 to 10 lines to call it a paragraph. Now there are a few things that you have to keep in mind while you are writing a paragraph. Now the first thing that you have to keep in mind is called unity. I'm going to explain all this in detail to you even as I finish writing here. Unity, or it is called cohesion. Okay, and the second is order. Order, or as it is called coherence. The third is called concise. The fourth is called complete. And the fifth is called conclusion. Alright, so we're going to discuss about these 5 points that you have to keep in mind while writing a paragraph. Now, the first one, okay, if you look at the first one here, I have written unity. Now, what is unity? Unity or cohesion. Cohesion is a word that you will find in your textbook. Now, what is unity? Unity in a paragraph. Now, when I say unity, I am talking about one particular topic that is written throughout that 8 or 10 lines. For example, I give you a topic, say, my most unforgettable incident. Now, in case I ask you to write your most unforgettable incident in a paragraph, the first one which I told you is unity or cohesion, which means the paragraph of 8 or 10 sentences should only talk about one topic. There should be unity from the first line to the 8th or the 10th line. So throughout those lines and sentences that you are framing in the paragraph, you should be talking only about that one topic and there should not be any deviation. You need to understand this, alright? So every sentence that you are building, every sentence that you are connecting to one another should all talk about that one topic called unforgettable experience, alright? Now if you look at the next one, it is order. When you start writing a paragraph, for example, unforgettable experience is such a interesting topic. We would love to share it, isn't it? Even when we are talking to somebody, we are so excited about talking about my unforgettable experience. Now because of that excitement in your mind, you'll have so many ideas, so many thoughts. You like to write down everything so that people would read it and know what was your unforgettable experience. Now when you're actually putting pen to paper, what happens? Your ideas are not written logically. They're not written in the proper order. You tend to write something that has to be written at the end, in the beginning itself. So when it comes to order, let me tell you something. When I was teaching you writing skills, I spoke to you about one particular aspect which was very, very important when you are writing. Before you write, something, or maybe an essay, an article, whatever you have to write, I said you have to write a rough draft first. You remember this? I told you this in the previous videos. I said you should always write a rough draft. Read the rough draft, correct the rough draft, and then keeping that rough draft draft in mind, you will have to write the main draft. Now paragraph is only around 8 to 10 sentences, but rough draft is very important. When you put pen, when you write a rough draft and then you're rereading your paragraph and you're reading it again to find if there are any errors or any mistakes, you will know that the second point should have come at the end and the last point should have come at in the second place. So you might make changes in your paragraph. So order of your thoughts, your ideas and your opinions is very very important when you're writing a paragraph. Unity, as I said, should cover only the topic that you're writing about in a paragraph, and order is your thoughts and ideas should be put in the right order. They should be logically arranged, connected. They should be interlinked in such a way that after you finish the first line, the second line should be you should be able to understand when you're reading it. It should not be hanging in the air, it should not look vague. It should have connectivity with the first sentence. So I would always advise you that writing a rough draft before you write a main draft, whether it is an essay or paragraph, is very very important. So arranging your paragraph in the right order is very important. All right. Now look at, and this order is also called coherence. You will find these two words in your textbook. What is the difference between cohesion and coherence? So cohesion is nothing but unity in the paragraph, which means you are going to talk about only one part, only one topic throughout your paragraph. And when it comes to order, coherence which means it has to be arranged in a proper order. You should arrange your sentences in a proper order so that they are all interlinked and connected to one another. Alright? Okay, now looking at the third one, concise. Conciseness is nothing but being brief. Let me give you this word here, brief. Okay, being brief. Being brief is being short. Now we must we surely would have friends in our circle of friends, where there might be some friends who will talk so much. What they talk can actually be spoken in a few words, but as Shakespeare said, he said, I spoke to I spoke to my wife in words and my wife replied to me in paragraphs. That is a joke that Shakespeare actually once said. Now this is what we women are very good at it, isn't it? We love talking and talking and talking, and paragraphs, we can even write essays on what we want to talk. Forget about paragraphs, right? So here conciseness is being brief. Now being brief is being short and sweet. Even when you are talking, especially when you go to lectures, when you listen to people who are giving speeches. Speeches are something that we hate to listen, isn't it? We don't like to listen to speeches unless and until the speaker is very, very fluent in the language, very interesting with the topic, and the way he's presenting is very artistic. You love to listen to such speeches. But most of the time, we don't like listening to speeches, isn't it? Why we don't like to listen to speeches? Because they are very lengthy. They go for hours and hours together, That's why we don't like listening to speeches. In the same manner, even if it is a friend of yours who's talking to you, a very close friend of yours, if he or she is talking to you and is continuing to talk for lengthy, periods of time, you would lose interest. You would actually lose track of what they are talking. After some time, you are shut off. Your mind is totally blank. You are not listening to them and you would not be able to respond to such people, isn't it? Because they have become disinteresting, they have become very boring, or they have become very monotonous. Now this should not happen in your paragraph. See, in your paragraph, there should be a lot of variety. There should be a lot of variety, not just in your opinions and your ideas, but also in the framing of sentences. The sentences should have variety in it. You should write sentences with different vocabulary, different formation and frames that will actually interest the audience when they are reading your paragraph. At the same time, you should also keep this in mind that you must be very brief. You must be short and sweet. Don't extend as many words as possible. Don't write many sentences. That is not acceptable. It is neither interesting for people to read it. So you should be short and sweet. Instead of speaking in 10 words, try bringing those 10 words to maybe around 5 words. That will make your paragraph more easy to understand. So being concise or brief with your ideas and thoughts is very very important. Now if you look at the next one, here I am talking about complete. When I say complete, I am actually talking about completeness. Let me add this for you. Now what is completeness? What should be complete? Yeah, what are we looking for when we say completeness? Right? We are looking for completeness of meaning in every sentence. completeness of meaning in the complete paragraph. Whenever you are writing a paragraph, you should keep this in mind. You should not leave the audience confused. Okay, you should not leave the audience in a stage where they are unable to understand the head or tail of your paragraph. This happens because you are not complete in meaning. You are not completely framing your sentences. This is very, very important. You should be complete. There should be completeness in whatever you talk. When I say completeness, I was telling you that you should not confuse your audience. At the same time, don't be ambiguous too. If you remember, I spoke about the word ambiguity in my previous videos. Now I said, what is ambiguity? Ambiguity is where you are leaving the paragraph to the audience to understand, which means your paragraph has two meanings. Is it this or is it that? What was the author trying to tell me? Is she trying to tell me this or is she trying to tell me that? If that is the way you frame your sentences, you are confusing your audience. And when you confuse your audience, the audience will definitely not read your paragraph. They will lose interest in that. You do the same thing even with your answers. Even with your answers in the exams. When you write an exam, you don't know the complete answer. What do? You try writing something and just leaving it to the person who's evaluating your paper. It is her or his headache. Let them read my paragraph and give me marks. Now, when you put somebody to a stage of confusion, they tend to, be put off. They don't like reading your paragraph. This will happen even with your answers in the exam. Be very careful about what you're writing. When the evaluator is, off mood, when he's put off with your answers, they tend not to give you good marks. So don't do this in your exams too. When you're writing something, see that it is written in a complete form. Give complete meaning. Let your paragraph be fully meaningful. Let it be complete in the sense of meaning. Alright? And then we come to the last one, which is conclusion. Now these are the stages that you have to follow when you are writing a conclusion. Now here, conclusion would come at the end, which means you are actually concluding the topic that you have started writing about. As I said, my most unforgettable experience. If that is an example paragraph that you're writing, you start with, a thought. You start the thought. Like, what was your unforgettable moment? You will start with this. Okay. Let me give you an example. I'll try putting my thoughts in a logical order so that you understand how to write a paragraph. I have plenty of unforgettable incidents in my life. It's not one, it's not two. I have been teaching for 25 years now, and for 25 years, all my unforgettable moments, I'm very proud to tell you, is all with my students. Yeah, my students are my friends. I treat them like my friends. I don't have this teacher and student relationship. I always try to make friends with my students. So all my unforgettable moments are with my students. And also, I would like to share one unforgettable moment of mine when I was a student. Okay, as a student, there was an incident which is fresh even now in my mind. So to start with, let me tell you that my unforgettable moment was when I was doing my degree, when I was doing my graduation. Alright, I was studying in Wesley Degree College, which is in Secunderabad, and this Wesley Junior College was only a women's college. So men were not allowed into our college. There was no entry for men into our college because it was a women's college. And even if my brother or my father or somebody had to come to the college on some purpose or some work, they had to take prior permission. And then I had to go to the gate and with that permission letter that I had in my hand, I had to bring them inside. So that was the state of my college at that time, right? So women's college. Now, the gate of our women's college was so big that it resembled the Chanchalguda jail. Yeah, that huge gate, you could not see the world outside the gate. The moment you entered the gate, the gates were closed and it was only open at the end of the day when we finished our college. That was the gate. We were never allowed to bunk classes. We could never go out of the gate until we were done with our college timing. So our college started at 12 in the afternoon and it ended at 5 in the evening. So between 12 and 5 we were like prisoners in that jail called Wesley Degree College. So sometimes we felt bored with the regular classwork and we wanted to bunk classes. Now there was one option that we had to bunk classes. The watchman at the gate allowed us out of the gate without our bags. Now, why he used to allow us out of the gate? Because there was a canteen which was out of the gate, okay, which was outside the college, a private canteen, nothing concerning our college. So in case we were hungry and we wanted to eat sometimes, he used to allow us without the bags. So without the bags we were allowed, and usually the watchman used to sit with a small gate closed. The huge big gate was in the center. There was one small gate in the side. So in the side, at the side, he used to sit inside the college, not outside. So he used to sit there with the gate closed. And when we wanted to go out, we used to show him, see, we have no bags, let us go out. So he used to allow us. Now we found a tactic of bunking classes, or bunking college itself. You know what we used to do? We used to throw our bags out that huge gate. They used to go and fall outside. Or sometimes we used to make it a point to see that one of our friends went out without the bag first. She used to go out without the bag, and she used to stand near that front gate, that front gate in the center she used to stand. And what we used to do? From inside, we used to throw our bags above the gate, and she used to catch them there. And this was how we used to manage without bags. We used to tell him, see, we have no bags. So he used to allow us, he used to close the small gate, and we used to take our bags and run away. So this was our, regular method of bunking classes. One day, I don't know how he doubted us. He didn't tell us anything. And when we told him that, see, we have no bags, we want to go. So he said, okay. And then what we did is, we had to go and get our bags from the classroom. So by the time he asked us to go out, one of our friends went and stood outside. Right? And when we came out, from the classrooms with our bags, we did not find the watchman there. But the gate was closed. So what we did, right, like our regular practice, we threw our bags outside. And our friend outside was catching those bags. And then after some time, when we looked at the gate, it was already open. So we were very happy that the watchman wasn't there and the bags are also out. We went out of the small gate. And to our surprise, do you know what we saw? We saw that the watchman was catching all our bags. And it was everyone roared in laughter inside the college, and there were some students outside, and all the passerbys on the road, they looked at this situation there, that scene that was happening there, and all the 5 bags he was holding in his hand, and he was looking at us like this. It was an unforgettable moment, something which is fresh even now. We can really never forget that incident. So this was an unforgettable incident that, now the ideas that I spoke to you, whatever I spoke to you was what actually happened in a sequential order. Now this is exactly how you're going to write your paragraph. It should go in a sequence. Now coming to the conclusion. What did I say in the conclusion? I said, this was my most unforgettable incident in life, and it is still fresh in my mind. That was my conclusion, right? Now here, let me start, let me go to the top first. Unity. When you are starting to write your paragraph, the first thing that you should start writing is called the topic sentence. Let me write it here. I'll put it here. The first thing once you start writing a paragraph is you will write a topic sentence. Alright? It should start with a topic sentence. Now you should start saying, I am going to tell you the most unforgettable incident in my life. So that is your topic sentence. Why is it called a topic sentence? Since you have the topic in your sentence, my most unforgettable incident in life. So usually paragraph writing, whenever you are writing a paragraph, you should keep in mind that the topic sentence should be the first sentence in your paragraph. However, there are a few paragraphs which might as well have the topic sentence at the end. When you're writing the topic sentence at the end, you're actually making your audience curious. You're making the audience wait to read the whole thing. They have to read, they have to be very patient. That curiosity, that anxiety increases in your audience when you don't include the topic sentence here. But I would suggest that you will do the topic sentence at the end only when you are confident about what you are writing. When you are sure you know what you are going to write. That is the only time when you will write the topic sentence at the end. That is to create a sort of curiosity and anxiety in your audience. Sometimes, suspense thrillers. Suspense movies. You watch suspense movies, don't you? Is the suspense, revealed to you in the beginning of the movie? It isn't, right? It gets you into such a lot of anxiety and curiosity till the climax, You are actually waiting and waiting. You are at the edge of your seat, waiting to see what is going to happen at the end. That is a curiosity that they create, isn't it? If you are able to do that, only see that you write the topic sentence at the end. Else, you can very happily start your sentence with the topic, okay? The topic sentence should be included in the first one. Once you start writing your topic sentence, then you will follow these methods. There should be cohesion. Now, when I spoke to you about my unforgettable incident, did I bring anything else? Did I deviate from the topic? Did I talk about something which was not related to my topic? I didn't do that, right? From the beginning to the end, I was speaking only about that one unforgettable incident that I would want to tell you, isn't it? So that is how you should also write, okay? So you should see that there is unity from the first sentence to the 10th sentence in your paragraph. The first sentence should be connected to the second to the third. It should be in the form of a chain, alright? They are all connected. So see that there is cohesion or unity in what you write. When I said unity in the topic that you are writing your paragraph about, fine? The second one is coherence. Coherence is put your paragraph in the proper chronological order. That's very, very important. Chronological is very important. It should go in the right order. So see that there is coherence in your paragraph, which means you are writing it in the right order. All your ideas, your thoughts, your experiences, your excitements, your whatever you would want to include, see that they are in the proper order. And then coming to conciseness, as I said, you should be short and brief. Now the same story that I told you about my unforgettable incident, I can talk to you for ages. I can talk to you for more than an hour because I have so many, incidents that are related to, being unforgettable. So I can include everything else. What happened in my school, what happened in my junior college, what happened in my PG. I can actually add all that and tell you a big, story. But what did I do? I was concise, I was brief, I was short, only to that one incident that I wanted to explain to you, isn't it? So yeah, I was very brief, I was short, and I was, I made it quite interesting. So this is how you do it. When I spoke, I tried making it interesting. In the same manner, when you are writing also, inculcate the interest and the attention of the audience. That is very, very important. See that the audience is interested in what they are reading. So that all depends on how you write. And as I said, when you are writing, first thing that you have to keep in mind is put the paper, pen to paper to write a rough draft. Write a rough draft first. Read your rough draft 2 or 3 times, or give your rough draft to your friends or relatives or anybody who's with you, so that when they sometimes what happens when you read a rough draft, you might feel that everything is right because it's our ego. We have written it right, so we will not find mistakes with what we have written. But if you show it to a friend or a relative of yours, a brother or a sister, they will show you certain areas where you might need improvement. That will actually help you. So see that it is done. So write a rough draft, show it to your friend or your brother or sister, ask them to read it, and give you a feedback so that you can make those changes when you are writing the main draft. So being concise is important. And the next fourth point is completeness. What did I say was completeness? Completeness means giving full meaning, okay, to your paragraph. Let your paragraph be complete. Don't leave it incomplete. Let it not have incomplete thoughts and ideas and opinions. Whenever you're framing a sentence, keep in mind that your paragraph is giving complete meaning through every sentence that you have written. That's very, very important. So as I said, completeness is important in order to see that your audience, the readers, are not put to a state of confusion. They are able to understand your paragraph very clearly without having any queries or doubts about what you've written. They're all very clear. And then coming to conclusion, your conclusion should be as interesting as your topic sentence. The first sentence, the way you started, with the punch, the way you started your first sentence, you should also end your paragraph that way. There should be, the conclusion of the paragraph should be very, very well written, very well framed. Alright, so see that you follow all these points when you are writing a paragraph. Now, other than these points, there were a few more things that I discussed with you. Now, what was it that I discussed with you? I said, see that there is variety in your paragraph. When I say variety, I am not talking about different ideas, different thoughts and opinions which are not related to your topic. Yes, you must have variety, but your variety of sentences, your variety of using the vocabulary should all be connected to the topic of your paragraph. Whatever vocabulary you are using, whatever sentences you are using, see that there is variety. Let your paragraph be colorful. Make it colorful, make it interesting, make it attractive. See that when they read the first 2 lines of your paragraph, the audience should understand or should be attracted to read more. That's how you should frame. There might be some books that we have read from our childhood, isn't it? The books are written in such a way that they grab your attention. They are looking for you to they're looking to read more and more in those books. So that should be your range of, your the interest that you inculcate, that you arouse in your viewers, in your readers. So see that you follow all these points which I have put on the board to write your paragraph, and do not forget the topic sentence. As I said, topic sentence should come at the beginning of the sentence, beginning of the paragraph, or it can come at the end of the paragraph, only when you are confident and you know that you can, grab the attention and the curiosity of the audience and hold it until the end of the paragraph. Sometimes, when you don't write the topic sentence and you start writing the sentences, the audience loses, interest in reading it, because of the way you have framed your sentences and because the way you have written it. So do not do that. If you are able to capture your audience's attention until the end of the sentence or end of the paragraph, only then see that the topic sentence comes at the end. Alright? Or you can actually start with the topic sentence and conclude it the way I concluded now. Alright? So this brings us to the end of Unit 1. I am done with the prose lesson. Okay, I am also done with all the grammar topics in Unit 1. In my next video, I will be coming up with Unit 2. Thank you so much.